Texas Tech men's basketball heads to the Fog. Allen Fieldhouse to face off against the Kansas Jayhawks on Saturday afternoon on ESPN. In today's video, we'll preview the matchup and discuss what are the likelihood that you have Chance or D5, maybe both, in this matchup against the Jayhawks. Plus, look at the latest metrics from KenPom, the net, as well as all the stats that matter. Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's RC Maxfield here for the Back to 12 podcast. And if you haven't already, be sure to like the video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell to stay in the know on all things Texas Tech men's basketball all year long. And I promise you, you're going to want to stick around in this preview video, not only to, hang out and understand, hey, what's going on in this matchup for the Red Raiders, but also there will be an announcement of a giveaway later here on in the video. So if you want to be a part of that, stick around. I promise you, you're going to want to be here for it. All right, let's jump into it and look at everything you need to know for Texas Tech. Number 10 Texas Tech, I might add, at Kansas. No ranking for the Jayhawks in quite a long time, and it is officially March now, as this game will tip off up in Lawrence. I will actually be there at the game. Very excited. We'll have some behind-the-scenes stuff for you guys here on the channel, so just another reason to subscribe to it. As you can see, we have no odds at the time of this recording, but we will look at Bart Torvik here in just a little bit in terms of look at his metrics and what we have in terms of odds for this game. But we look at the matchup predictor for this one. According to ESPN, Kansas has a 60% chance to win this game. You see the stars on your screen right there. JT Toppin is the leading scorer between both of these squads. He's also the leading rebounder for the Red Raiders at 9.2, with Elijah Hawkins leading the way with 6.5 assists. Hunter Dickinson, a name that is known by very many people in the college basketball space. You're either a fan or you probably don't like him. It really feels like he is one of those clear-cut players in that regard. He leads the way, much like JT Toppin does for the Red Raiders, in scoring and rebounding, with DeJuan Harris leading the Jayhawks in assists per game at 5.7. We'll get into a little bit more of the team metrics here in a little bit, but both of these teams are coming into this game 3-2 in their last 5. Texas Tech with that really poor performance at TCU, a loss that just continues to get worse now that the Horned Frogs just seemingly have forgotten how to play basketball. And then their shorthanded loss against Houston on Monday night. Now, Kansas, they went to Utah and got swept and really blown out by BYU. I mean, it wasn't a contest. It looks like the Jayhawks quit in that game. Over their last 2, though, they have just bombarded Oklahoma State and beat them, as you can see right there, by 32, and then went out to Boulder and beat the Buffaloes. Now, when you look at, well, where are these teams at in the net, right? You can see it on your screen right there. Texas Tech is 7th in the net. They keep fluctuating on the quad 1 wins, and the reason being is this. I mentioned TCU, right? They're all over the place here. Okay, so Texas Tech now has 2 quad 2 losses because UCF and TCU, they've lost a couple of quad 1 wins because Kansas State, that road win is now a quad 2 win. It's all over the place for the Red Raiders, but right now they're in solid spot as the number 7 team according to the net. You can see at the bottom of your screen there that Kansas is 20th. Feels generous for what the Jayhawks have done, but it is what it is at this point, and this is one of those situations where if you have Chance McMillan and D5, and we can get into that right now before we look at KenPom, I would suspect that there is a much better opportunity for D5 to play in this game. Chance McMillan feels like, hey, we don't want to rush this. This could be a Warren Washington type situation where if you look at the standings in the Big 12 right now, for those that don't know, Houston already won at least a share of the Big 12 title with their win out in Lubbock on Monday night. If you're the Red Raiders, you're playing for more than anything right now, seeding. What's more important if you were Texas Tech? A maybe 3 seed, right? Or having a 4 or 5 seed and having Chance McMillan. It's clearly that one. And I think Texas Tech is going to be uber precautious with him moving forward. In D5, it's interesting because if you listen to the post-game presser, that Grant McCasland had after the Houston game, it sounded like he expected to have D5 in that game, but he trusts his trainers and There's always things going on behind the scenes in that situation. It seemed like he expected D5 to play there. Does that mean D5 is going to play at Kansas? I think it's probably going to be closer to a game time decision type deal than anything. I will say this. I have a lot higher of an expectation in terms of percentage, quote unquote, that D5 plays in this game than Chance McMillan. It would not shock me at all if we do not see Chance McMillan play another regular season game. That is 100% me speculating, but it seems like Texas Tech is being very, very precautious, and rightfully so in this regard, in terms of if you want to achieve the goal that you set out to begin the season in terms of the NCAA tournament and going far in it, you have to have Chance McMillan. End of story. That's just how that works. All right, let's jump into the KenPom side of things real quick, because I think it's interesting when you look at it. Where is Texas Tech at now? They moved down one. They are in 8. You look down. Where's Kansas? Where's Kansas? 21. Okay. So Kansas offensively, not great. 57th. Texas Tech, you can see it on your screen, is 10th. The Red Raiders have the 27th best defense. Kansas, this is where they thrive, and they have the 5th best defense according to KenPom. I think it's going to be fascinating to see because, in my opinion, if you had both Chance and D5, we're playing the if game here. Call me the SEC if you want in football. If you have Chance and D5, you are more talented than Kansas. You are clearly the better team than Kansas, in my opinion. But if you only have one of them, I think this game is very coin flippy. And if you have both, I think Kansas has to be the clear favorite in this one. It's going to be very fascinating to see what happens when it's all said and done in terms of the injuries in this one. Again, I would be hard-pressed to see Chance McMillan play. That doesn't mean that he can't. But I think it's more likely that D5 plays than than those two that we mentioned in terms of Chance and D5. All right. Now, I know y'all been waiting. I appreciate it. Let's jump into this giveaway, shall we? $50 gift card. You can see it on your screen right there. Who doesn't love Homefield Apparel? Okay? This is what I need you guys to do. I already know you like the video. It's down at the bottom of your screen. I need you to like the video and go down to the comments and just comment TTU. That's it. And that will be your entry into, well, hey, a chance to win a $50 gift card to Homefield Apparel. And while you're at it, you might as well subscribe, because this might not be the only giveaway I do here on the channel going into March. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Okay, so you're going to want multiple chances to enter here. Like the video, be sure to subscribe, and then, hey, head down to the comments and type TTU. Let's just look at some of the things that Homefield Apparel has on the screen. Love that hat right there. I actually have a couple of these. I have this basketball shirt right here, the retro Texas Tech basketball tee, one of my favorite Red Raider shirts. You've also got multiple throwbacks. I know one of my buddies loves his coach's jacket. This one right here, absolutely swaggy. I love this 1973 long sleeve champs for the Southwest Conference. There's so many things on Homefield Apparel that you will absolutely love. So again, if you want a chance at a free, 100% free, $50 gift card to Homefield Apparel, just do two things. And if you want to wink, wink, nudge, nudge, know when the next giveaway is, subscribe. But the two things to enter, you must like the video and hit the comment button and type TTU before you do. Okay? That's all you got to do. All right. Let's jump into the actual stats that matter now. Okay? Because there's a lot of interesting ones on your screen right now. Texas Tech is the 3rd highest scoring team in the Big 12, while Kansas is the 7th. The Jayhawks average just about 76, 75.9 to be exact, while the Red Raiders average about 80.5. You look at the defensive side of things, and it's pretty similar. Texas Tech allows 66.6, way too many sixes in a row. We have to change that. But then Kansas is 6th in terms of allowing teams to score 67.3. When you look at the margin here, Texas Tech has the 2nd best margin in terms of difference between points scored and allowed this season at 14.1 per game. Kansas is down at 6 at 8.6. When you look at the field goal percentage in this one, neck and neck when it comes to scoring the basketball efficiently. Red Raiders at 47.5%, Kansas at 47.3. You look at opponent field goal percentage, And Kansas was pretty good. Again, I mentioned they have a top 5 defense in the country. According to KenPom, they allow opponents to shoot 39% from the field, while the Red Raiders are 6th in the Big 12 and allow 41.8. Now, 3-point, that's where things get a little interesting here. The Red Raiders are the second best 3-point shooting team in the country, or in the Big 12, excuse me, at 37.6. Kansas, 34.4 as a team. The difference in this one, Kansas allows teams to shoot less than 30% from 3. Why is that significant? Well, what happened against Houston? Houston is arguably the best defensive team in the country, right up there with Tennessee, okay? The Red Raiders shot 20% from 3 at home. All right, Kansas, they're not Houston defense, but they are much closer to it than a lot of teams that the Red Raiders have faced this year. If Texas Tech shoots closer to their average, 37.6%, then what Kansas allows, 29.5%, I think the Red Raiders are in a really good spot. Now, a lot of this comes down to, do you have 2 of your 3 top players in Chance McMillan and D5, or just one of them, right? I think that you get closer to the 37. That being said, it is going to be a tall task to shoot lights out up at the Phog, a place that historically every team in the Big 12 has struggled at. Just the reality of it, right? But this is one to watch in terms of a aspect of the game that I think is going to be one to watch for Texas Tech just moving forward in general, because they are a really good 3-point shooting team. But against defenses like Kansas, it's even more of a point to monitor. Now, when you look at rebounding, Texas Tech, Kansas, pretty similar. 1.5 difference in terms of combined team rebounds. Kansas, the 3rd best rebounding team in the Big 12 at 38.6 per game. Texas Tech right at 37. You look at combined opponent rebounds on this one. Texas Tech only allows teams to get 31.7 rebounds, while Kansas, they allow teams to get 34.9. So a little bit closer to what Texas Tech allows in terms of, or Texas Tech gets, is what Kansas allows. Now, offensive rebounding, really, Texas Tech is substantially better than Kansas in this regard. 11.7 offensive rebounds per game for Texas Tech, while Kansas is 13th in the Big 12 at 10.3. Kansas thrives in terms of boxing out and getting out in transition, though, in terms of solidifying their possession and making sure they have it. You see it right there. Team defensive rebounds, 28.3. Texas Tech only has 25.3. Now, Texas Tech and Kansas aren't too far away in terms of the margin aspect of it, 5.3 to 3.7. But again, these margins for Texas Tech, you're losing 2 of your better rebounders in Chance McMillan and D5 potentially. Do they play in this game? I think it's worth asking for sure. But in this one, I think it really comes down to the fact of, if you have one of Chance or D5, I think it's more likely you have D5 than Chance at this point. I think Texas Tech wins the game. If you're without both of them again, like you were against Houston, the Phog is already a tough place to play anyway. Without 2 of your 3 best players, you're going to have special performances, and you're going to have to ask a true freshman and Christian Anderson to play substantial minutes again, something that he did against Houston, where he played all 40 minutes, and he suffered an ankle injury in that game, but Grant McCasland said that he fought through it. He should be good to go, right? You're asking Elijah Hawkins to do a lot more. You're asking JT Toppin to do a lot more. These guys played their ass off against Houston. It's hard to do that 2 games in a row in terms of playing only a 6-man rotation. It's super difficult. So, again, my major key to the game is 3-point shooting. I don't think that that's shocking to anybody. I think the 2 most fundamental aspects for Texas Tech to win basketball games, outside of just physicality and want, and that this team has the desire, the want. They never give up. They play their ass off every possession, is 3-point shooting and rebounding. Okay, I think that those are the 2 biggest things, as well as, turnovers, right? But if you don't have Chance or D5, and I think that that's a fair question to have right now, this game is going to be tough to win, okay? We'll have the odds down in the comments when they officially come out from Vegas. That'll be on Friday. You'll be listening to this preview on Thursday. Recording it a little early just because, hey, I'm going to be going to the game. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'll be posting some shorts. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at RCMB323 for a little bit behind-the-scenes stuff up there in Lawrence. But one more reminder before I head out of here, like the video and comment TTU. to win a chance for a $50 gift card to Homefield Apparel. You can't beat it. Again, like the video, comment TTU for a chance to win a $50 gift card on us here at the Back to 12 podcast. So you can go get your new favorite Texas Tech hat, shirt, pullover, just in time for March Madness. You can't beat it. So again, follow the directions at the bottom of your screen. And while you're down there, be sure you're subscribed for 100% free Texas Tech videos all year long, whether it's on the gridiron or the hardwood. We've got you covered through all of the madness here in the upcoming month, including a live selection Sunday special here on the channel. You're not going to want to miss it. Who is Texas Tech going to play? We know they play Kansas on Saturday, and hopefully the Red Raiders can secure another Big 12 road victory. I'm RC Maxfield. Appreciate y'all tuning in here to the Back to 12 podcast. And as always, stay safe and Recom Tech.